In May of last year, voters in Lubbock, Texas, voted for their city to become a sanctuary city for the unborn by a margin of 62% to 38%. But this overwhelming message from voters wasn't acknowledged by Planned Parenthood, who sued over Lubbock's sanctuary city status. Well, the lower courts upheld the city's right to do what they did. And last Thursday, actually a day before the March for Life, the Planned Parenthood of Greater Texas Surgical Health Services, an affiliate of the largest abortion provider in the country, filed a motion to dismiss its lawsuit against the city of Lubbock, Texas, which is the most populous sanctuary city for the unborn in the U.S. And there are actually about, I think, 41 sanctuary cities for the unborn in the U.S., all but 3 of them in the Lone Star State. Nebraska has 2 sanctuary cities for the unborn, and Ohio has 1. We need to get other states on that list. Well, joining me now to talk more about this is Jim Baxa, president of West Texas for Life, who was a main driver for this. Jim, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, this is great news that Planned Parenthood has they've smelled the coffee and they've realized that the good folks of Lubbock are not backing down, nor are the folks of Texas. So first, let me say congratulations, job well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very exciting to see. And they knew they were going to lose at the Fifth Circuit. And so they stepped back and they said, we're not going to take a loss and it's going to hurt financially.
So do you think that was really Planned Parenthood's thinking here? They backed off their lawsuit just because they knew they were going to lose and they wanted to save the cash?
Yeah, exactly. They can save the lawyer fees and they can save the embarrassment of losing and setting a precedent. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which was where their appeal was, it was over 3 states. And they didn't want to open up a Pandora's box that is open anyway for other states to jump in and start banning abortion everywhere.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think they want to try to minimize this because if a precedent is set, that's going to open the door for other cities. And I hope other cities take these steps anyway. But let me ask you this, Jim. Is this the end of the pro-abortion lawsuits over Lubbock's sanctuary status?
Time will tell, but I think it is. I think we've hit the end here. They have nowhere else to go unless they try to reopen this case, which they could do at some point. But I don't think they'll try to reopen it because I think they know what will happen, and they want to win, and they're upset that we've won and that abortion is banned in Lubbock, Texas, and the Planned Parenthood there is no longer killing babies.
Yeah, they've packed up and they're leaving. Let me ask you this question, Jim, because I know this is really where you're at and what you've been focused on, because many say, oh, those pro-lifers, they only care about the baby and they get these laws in place and they move on. Let me ask you how the local community of Lubbock has been able to come around women facing these unplanned pregnancies. How has that effort been enhanced over the last year?
Yeah, it's really duplicated over the year. Going back through history in Lubbock, there has been a strong contingent of Christians just loving their neighbor, being there for these moms who decide to keep their babies and helping them through that process. Since this has happened, there's been a new shelter open for women who are, burdened in a crisis pregnancy and don't feel like they can still live at home. And so new shelters opened up for those people who feel like they need it. And the churches have just stepped up and provided diapers and baby clothing. You wouldn't believe the pile of stuff that our groups put together on Victory Day and May 1st last year when we won the election, just to give to moms in need. The pile of diapers was from the floor to the ceiling at a church. It was amazing.
Jim, have you been in communication with other cities and other groups of pastors that really help drive these sanctuary cities for the unborn? Are others looking at these same types of approaches?
Yes, definitely. So West Texas in particular is where we're seeing a lot of activity right now. City of San Angelo, which is about 100,000 population, they just collected enough signatures, just like Lubbock did, to force it onto their ballot. So they're going to have an election on May 1st to ban abortion in San Angelo. And that'll be the second biggest city ever to ban abortion citywide. There's a number of other West Texas cities, and I've had outreaches from just interested parties all across Texas and even across the country who say, we heard what you did in Lubbock, we want to do the same thing. And, I point them to the website sanctuarycitiesfortheunborn.com, and I point them to their city council and to the pastors in the community, because if the pastors don't lead this, we'll never win. It's always got to be pastor driven.
Final question right on that topic, Jim. What role did the pastors play there in Lubbock to get this across the line and sustain it?
The pastors were everything. I'm just one activist, trying to kind of take a step out in leadership role on this, but the pastors did it. The pastors made sure that we were collecting signatures in every church in town. The pastors made sure that there was a sign outside of every church in the city. 200 different churches had a sign up front saying, "Vote for life, vote for the unborn." It was an amazing sight to see. And, we've been critical over the years of pastors who won't stand up. And we saw it here in Lubbock, Texas. The pastors did stand up and they said, we're going to do what's right. We're going to love these babies. We're going to love our neighbor, and we're going to lead our flock. And it was an amazing sight to see.
Well, and you played a catalytic role in that by bringing those pastors together and encouraging them and resourcing them. And so, Jim, I want to thank you. And again, job well done.
Thank you, sir.